Hello, sir.
How we doing, Rocket?
Where are we today?
We are at Fifth Quarter Butcher and Provisions in Waitsfield, Vermont.
Great. And what are we going to do?
So I'm pulling out a half pig. It comes from Union Brook Farm in Northfield, and we're going to cut it up.
So how heavy is this thing?
Let's find out. They're all come labeled for us.
Yeah.
This one was from about 220-pound half, so we're looking at about 110 pounds.
That you just lugged in here like no one's business.
You know, I've done this once or twice before, so it makes it a little bit easier.
How did you get into butchery?
I was working in restaurants down in the Boston area for about 8 years, a little bit longer, and was kind of getting fed up with the hours, the life. But the last place I worked at was called the Salty Pig. We were located right across from Back Bay Station, and we were doing whole animal butchery there and charcuterie. And so kind of transitioned, worked at a shop in Boston, got mentored there, and now here we are.
So this is literally the right half of the pig.
Yeah, this is the right side of the pig.
Yeah.
And it came to us last week.
Yeah.
We could even get them whole, but they're a bit unwieldy to carry around like that.
Yeah.
But we get them kind of as large as possible, and that gives us total control over what we're doing and how we're doing it.
I see.
One of the fun things about butchery
Yeah.
is with any animal, there's probably a dozen different ways to cut it. And even here, we don't have a set way of cutting things. Instead, we decide what we're looking to do. Do we want to make a porchetta? Do we want to make copa? Do we want to get as many pork chops as we can? Is it the summer we need ribs?
Well, so is that based off of the animal or based off of what you're trying to cut?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, there's certain things that are going to work better for this and that, and so we do make some decisions.
Cool. Now, when you look at this pig specifically, what stands out to you as positive, or like what excites a butcher here?
I mean, this is really great. What I look for primarily before I start cutting into it is this fat layer.
Okay.
I want some fat on here. That's going to be great flavor. It's also going to go right into our sausages, but I don't want too much fat. Additionally, I want it to be nice and firm. If you get grocery store pork, it's kind of like soft and wobbly and greasy.
Yeah.
This is like almost like a bar of soap. It's going to be nice, hard, dense. It's going to hold up in the sausage. It'll have a distinct texture to it, and that's a real big thing.
And so, be honest, is this too much, too little, or just right?
This looks a touch heavy, but as it lines down here, you can see it's not that big. So I think we're going to be in a really good spot, but I won't know for sure until I cut it open.
Okay, excellent. Let's start cutting.
Awesome.
All right, so now we're down to the pork chops.
Yeah, so we're cut all the way through this guy, and you were kind of asking earlier about whether it's too much fat, and to me, that is just like perfect. You can see we've got like beautiful color in the meat. We've got a little differentiation in color between the two different muscle groups. A little bit of fat going on in intramuscular marbling, and then right here we've got like, we're right about, I'm super lucky as a butcher. My thumb is like exactly 1 inch thick, so I can always measure things. I've learned this over the years, but so we're at like right about a 1 inch fat cap, which is great. I can trim just a little off the top and we'll use that in our sausage. And then you got like a perfectly cut pork chop with just a little layer of fat on top.
Great.
So we're up here, I've got the backbone off, and I'm gonna cut us a chop. This is my personal favorite pork chop. So this is the shoulder end. And basically, the way to think about a pork anatomy in the simplest way is think of it like a ribeye or like a cow, right? And so these would be your ribeyes, and then the back end here is your New York strip. So here you've got all these different muscle groups, which is going to give you more textural and flavorful variety. Whereas here, you can see it's much more straightforward with one muscle.
I see.
They're both good, but to me, that's the winner. And so I'm going to just cut that right off here. Like I said, now that we've sawed the backbone off, we can go nice and thick, straight through there. There's your pork chop. And I'm just going to come back along. Use a thinner knife for this, and we're going to take off just a small amount of skin and fat, and that's how you get a pork chop from us.
Wow. Magic. It's like magic.
It is magic.
Yeah. So we've got this half pig here, disassembled to the ribs, and we're going to down further to this beautiful pork chop.
That's what we do.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Rocket.
You are a pro, a wizard.